Hello guys, and welcome back to another cold stream. And on today's stream, I was here first. You were all wrong. You have all been deceived. It was me. The whole time. Hello, and welcome. Yeah, on today's stream, as you can tell by the title and the thumbnail, we are going to be ranking a whole bunch of decks. We're going to be ranking a whole bunch of decks on whether or not they're fun to play. No... Anyway, I do have a few other things that I want to talk about. First, that being, the Meta Weekly. I was told to check it out a couple of days ago, and I didn't, and, now let's check it out. This is pretty much par for the course. Yubel, Fire King, Snake Eye, Tier, Voiceless Voice, Branded, Hero, Kashtira, making up the top cut, and what ended up winning? Yubel. Wow, that's great. They're playing... Okay, I don't trust these players. What the hell? Oh. How much do you want to bet this is counted as branded? Oh, look, cash. Wait, this is just stun. Huh. Okay, this is like a normal build. This, like, makes sense. Except for that, okay, maybe... Okay, it's not optimal, but, like, it makes sense. And then Fire King Snake Eye, great, yeah. What happened? Oh, cool, the Ibly lock. Whoa. What is... Why are we the way that we are? What is happening here? Does someone want to explain what's going on? I saw the Kaitoptera? Kaitoptera? How the fuck do you say this? Oh no! What? 45. 45. You're playing wrong Bali. Why are you playing 45? No wonder you didn't get top 8. Brandon, of course. Okay. This is just like the most basic Voiceless Voice deck I've ever seen. Holy crap. Cool. Hey, Diavolo. Pog, dude. That's why. Diavolo was like, hey, yo, check this out. I topped. They always make great lists as well. Nice, clean, 40 cards. Nice, you know, deck and extra. Clean. What the hell are you doing here? Oh, to win in time. That makes sense. I mean, why not? Clean. Clean. Solid. You thought you were late? Nah, we just haven't gotten there yet. And Hero! Yo, is that motherfucking Hero? Don't worry, chat. We need more Hero cards. Hero's not good enough. Trust. This is why it's events like these, like, let's actually go to Master Duel Meta, right? Let's check out the tournaments, okay? And let's just check out the most recent tournaments. Okay? So we have this one, which was 48 players. Cool. And we had a top 8 with Mathmech. Right? We had Fire King Snake Eye, we had Yubel, we had Snake Eye, we had Mathmech, and we had Voiceless Voice. Great. Cool. Let's go back. Right? We have a J Cup. Cool. Which was 133 players based. Right? But this one was single elimination best of 3 with the side deck, with one deck and no side. Right? As opposed to, if we go back, let's go back to this one, which was best of 3 with a side deck, and it was single elimination. Right? Okay? So both of those were single elimination. And then we go to the Decade one, which was also a single elimination bracket, which was which was one deck, best of 3. Apparently, no side deck. Interesting. Now, I'm sure that if we check another one, it's going to have the same rule set, right? Actually, surprisingly, it does have a similar rule set to what we've already seen. That's crazy. Right? However, none of these do Swiss. Why the fuck do none of these do Swiss? Oh, here we go. Here's a Swiss one. Here's a Swiss rounds. Wow, crazy. Crazy. Somebody take Jowgen and Albaz to make Sanctifier even more toxic. I'm so sad that they did not ban Sanctifier. Sanctifier was so obviously the ban, and Konami was like, but it's a ultra rare. We can't ban it. Flunder. I'm going to tell you this right now, chat. I don't know what's going on in China, but they are actually understanding how to play the game. They actually get how to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. I don't know what we're doing in the West. We're doing it wrong. We're just doing it incorrect. Ice barrier. Ice barrier. Ice barrier.
It's the fucking barrier statue. What the heck?
I heckin' love it here. 10 out of 10. No notes. But yeah. Anyway. This is why we have looked at six different tournaments? 5? And there's been 4 different sets of rules. 4 different ways to play the game. To play the tournament. How the hell can you get any sort of understandable meta game when every single tournament is run differently? Is it single elim with or without side? It's single elimination. Okay, cool. Well, what about Swiss rounds? Well, that other one did Swiss rounds. So there's those 2 differences. Do you have a side deck or do you not have a side deck? Do you, do you go into a top cut of more people or less people? Yada yada. This is why I will never trust this, because this is based on all community tournaments. First of all, automatically updated. Second of all, it's based on community tournaments, right? Duel Links doesn't do this, which is why I think Duel Links actually has a fairly good tier list, and you can reasonably go and look at that, because it's a top player council who goes, hey, let's vote on this. I prefer W Elim. I do as well, right? I prefer double Elim, I prefer Swiss rounds, and I prefer more games, just in general, because that actually tells you, like, it gets rid of variance oftentimes, right? Which is why I prefer things like best of 5s and best of 7s. But of course, we can't do that because Konami hates you. I don't know. Anyway, the point that I'm trying to make is, don't trust these. I don't know who does this, or who needs to hear this. Basically, this will tell you nothing about Master Duel. Okay, because the difference between having a side deck and not having a side deck, the difference between having Swiss rounds and having a single elimination is significant, right? If you have 6 rounds of Swiss, you are going to easily tell what the best decks are, right? It's why all of the big tournaments do Swiss rounds, because that's actually how you determine who the best of the best is, right? And like what the best of the best is, right? So there you go. Best of 7 would take too long, like male tennis games. You're not wrong, but there you go. Can I try Ritual Beast before a new support release? I have, and I'm not going to do that again. No. I've made videos about it. What branded deck? What do you mean? It's branded. It's an amalgamation of 60 cards thrown together that happen to work. Are they good? No. But they top. Sometimes. Sometimes they don't. Anyway. That's all. I also kind of wanted to read this paleo thing, because apparently it was funny. Why should I play this deck? You're fed up with games being over in 2 turns. True. You like most of your opponents. You liked making most of your opponents' hand traps useless. You want to play Yu-Gi-Oh without playing hand trap minigames, and you enjoy being able to go toe to toe with meta decks and win. That is true. There you go. Core cards. The Paleos. The Forgotten Paleos. True. All of these suck. Best trap cards. Rise to full height. Is that a cuttable card? Elemental Burst, Fiend, Griefing. If you're running Absolute King Backjack, absolutely should play that card. Best spell cards, Reasoning, Grass, Trap Tantalizing Tune, Time Tearing Morganite, Pot of Desires. Meh. Backjack, Soldier, Dragons. Everyone, get in here. What? What the hell is this? So branded Despia? Yeah, you know, the only branded deck that exists. There's only one. Huh? Hyperia Pog, summoned off Soldier Dragons, etc. Cool. The draw traps. First of all, do not play Balance of Judgment. This card is ass. No. Accumulated Fortune, I actually do think is pretty good. Same thing, I actually don't like Reckless Greed. Hope for Escape. If your opponent has at least 1,000 life points, pay 1,000 life points. Draw one card for every 2,000 difference. Oh, maybe I should play this. Oh, does this pay life points? Oh, your opponent gains life points. Twitch chat meme. That's why I didn't know. I don't get Twitch. Extra deck monsters. Yep. What is my purpose? You give Zeus an extra mat. Oh my god. They tried. Mosquito. Plump! You can turn on a low investment 6-mat Zeus. Smart. Trap card choices. Ichiroku's Ledger Book. Threatening Roar. Pog. Big welcome? Hats! Coots! Coots has gifted a sub! Let's go! A millennial wrote this? Nah, I wrote it. I'm joking. A poor man's Daruma. True. Coots is back! Quick matchup guide. What's the most difficult? Omni Negates Turbo. Yep. Imagine someone resolving Junk Speeder against you. Yep. Salad. I actually haven't had that big of an issue against Salad. Not gonna lie. Mostly due to the fact that most of the time when a Salad player actually plays the Pyro Phoenix stuff, they're terrible. They're just like bad at the game. Lab is pretty bad. I will agree. Fire King Snake Eye specifically is pretty bad. Branded's not that big of a deal. Stun, don't care. Rescue Ace. Rescue Ace is comedy. Man, watching a Rescue Ace player like do their combo, set a whole bunch of cards, and then you just set 5, and your opponent just goes, fuck. It's so funny. Why is that the worry and not Rage for 4? As I said, I don't care about this. I care about a good player. I feel like I don't struggle against Salad. Omni Negate Turbo, I just scoop. Yep, absolutely. Kashtira, don't care. Kashtira. Trap tricks. Nah. Tier. Dino Morbin, Runic. No. Who is playing? I saw that. You saw that. We all saw what that was, right? We know what happens when I scroll down, right? What's up, Ascended? Goatee is fun? Goatee is fun for like a week. And then it gets really boring in my eyes. Alright. Here we have the tier list. It's Schmidt. Everyone's playing Paleo? Hey, Paleo is fun. It's fun to play. Playing against it, I will say, goddamn nightmare. Holy crap. But, beside the point. Here's the list. From most fun to actively unfun. And we have a whole bunch of decks. It's not all the decks, but we have a whole bunch. Most notably, Celtic Guardian is in here. We'll talk about him. I believe it's alphabetical. World Legacy, what is this? Zexal? I don't know. Fucking something. Paleo is... Yeah, no, Paleo's just sick. Paleo's great. I love Paleo. After this event, it's only right to put Ice Barrier #1. Yeah. All right. So obviously, this is based off of how much I enjoy playing them. Now, obviously, as well, I haven't played all of them, but I have played quite a substantial amount. Up, up, up. What the fuck? There we go. So there you go. But let's hop right into this. ABC Therion. Trying to think back if I've played this deck, and I genuinely, this is one of the few decks I genuinely think I have yet to play, and I don't think I will play it. But I will say it does look fun. So there you go. ABC is a lot of fun. I'm sure it is. I cannot say that. I have yet to play it. I'm sure I'll play it someday. Adamancipator is pretty boring. It's not a linear combo, but to be fair, basically no combo deck is at this point, but it basically is just like Omni Negate Turbo, and it's really boring. And if you don't have access to Block Dragon, it's just as boring. It does the same things, it's very bland, I do not enjoy it much. It's not terrible, but there you go. Sharks, also kind of boring. They kind of just do one thing, which is like Stealth Kragan. And if that doesn't work, they cry. Smile. I'll put Alistair in playable only due to the fact that Alistair himself isn't all that fun, but because you can play it with like the Shaddoll and the Dogmatica stuff, which does tend to make it a little bit more enjoyable, as well as a myriad of other stuff, it does seem to be a lot more fun. So there's that. Altergeist, haven't played. Actually, have I? I have yet to play this deck. There was like an opportunity to in Duel Links. Never played it. Amazement I have played, and it sucks. It's so unbelievably awful. Holy crap. Nothing works the way that like it's supposed to, and it's not one of those things where it's like, wow, this doesn't do anything. It's like, oh my gosh, this is infuriating. Why do these cards not work the way that they're supposed to? It makes me sad. Is this going to be on YouTube later? I mean, you can watch the VOD. But no, there's not going to be like an edited version of it. Why isn't it amazing? Amazonis is... Nah, it's just boring. No Ritual Beast? I would imagine Ritual Beast is on here. Is it not? Do you see RB? Ritual Beast? It's not on here. S-Force is on here, but Ritual Beast isn't? Bro, cringe. Cringe! I've yet to play this deck. This deck's like brand new. Anyway. What is this? Amorphage? Amorpain? Amorphage? Whatever the frick it is. This one is literally just hope and pray that you get the Floodgate and then Pendulum Summon it. It's so boring. And not only is it boring, it just actively makes me want to stab myself. Not fun. Floodgate Turbo. Ancient Gear? Honestly, pretty fun. Not gonna lie, I do like Ancient Gear. Quite enjoyable. Should I? Absolutely not. This deck is terrible. But it's fun just punching your opponent really hard in the face while they can't activate spells and traps. And then also, you're most of the time not actually just like OTKing your opponent. You're just hitting them really hard and then being like, please don't have anything. Resonators, they're trying to think. I don't know. I'm gonna put them in boring. I don't think they're very fun. I despise playing Aramage. Aramage? If we're talking about the actual like Aramage cards, they're some of the least fun cards in Yu-Gi-Oh. Obviously, like Jasmine's really good, right? Aromatherapy Jasmine, really good. Every single other one, absolute garbage. And just genuinely not fun in like an interesting way. It's just like, okay, I'm just gonna survive, and I'm just gonna survive, and that's it. That's all I do. I don't actually do anything. I just survive. And you're like, why? Harpies. Oops. Where did I put the harpies? Where'd they go? What just happened? Where'd the harpies go? They disappeared. Huh? Oh, they're there. What the hell? How'd they get over there? I actually do like the harpies. I think the harpy is pretty fun. I just play Arrow Mage and Duel Links, so people hate the game as much as I do. That's exactly why I don't like Arrow Mage. Aroma is annoying in Duel Links, even if I enjoyed playing them. Even outside of Duel Links, what are you gonna do? Right? It's like, just playing the cards is so boring. Ashen, I have played, and it's playable. It's cool. It's a cool concept. It's so fucking bad. It is a terrible deck, but the card artwork is so insanely good that it does make it, like, at least enjoyable. And the ideas are pretty interesting. It definitely does feel unfinished, which is why I can't put it higher. But, like, it's such a cool, like, start. It feels really cool from the start. Battling Boxer is... it's fine. It's middle of the road. It's Battling Boxer. You kind of do stuff. You kind of don't. Bees... well, this isn't bees. This is, insects. Or... I guess it's like Bee Trooper, right? They're fine. Mimighoul's first wave is better than that whole deck. You're not wrong. Playing Ashen is like playing Dark Souls in Yu-Gi-Oh! Yeah, exactly. You get it. Sacred Beast is kind of boring. I'm not a fan of the Protect the Tower style gameplay. I find it very boring. If you enjoy it, that's not okay, because oftentimes those decks are awful. But, like, yeah, the Sacred Beasts are kind of boring. It's just kind of like Protect the President. Blackwing is playable. I don't find them the most fun, but they're not the most boring. Their combos are really boring to sit through, though. When I went to locals, I have a guy that plays Blackwings, like, exclusively. Really cool dude. I like the guy. His combos, very boring. Blue Eyes. Blue Eyes is fun to play. There, I said it. I said it. Crucify me. It's fun. Genuinely. Only because it is Blue Eyes. If it were, like, any other no-name deck, it'd be super boring. But because it is Blue Eyes, it is kind of fun. And I am very excited for the new support. Caliuga Turbo. Adventure. Barely a deck. The actual gameplay, I do think, of Adventure is pretty interesting. Well, it's only kind of interesting. Actually, now that I think about it, it's pretty boring. It's pretty boring. It's Protect the President, except, like, really bad. I do not like Boojins. They're pretty bad. BA? BA is fun. BA is very fun. BA is really cool in the way that it works. It's not, like, perfect, but it's pretty cool. I like it. Man, Buster Blader, where do I put you? You're not, like, actively hurting me to play. You're just boring. It's like, why would I play you when I could play a myriad of other decks and still at least have any sort of enjoyment? The problem with Buster Blader is it's like, it's just stun. With more steps. And if I wanted to play stun, I'd just play stun. With less steps. And it'd also be boring. But then I wouldn't lose to, like, Ash Blossom. Anyway. Bestial Horus? So I've played Bestial decks, and I've played Horus decks, but I haven't technically played, like, this together. Have I? No? I'm just gonna put this here. I technically also haven't played Bestial Runic. So there you go. Is our Duelux trying to play Pure Adventure? Pure Adventure is literally no game plan. You just don't win the game. Sidra. Sidra's fine. It's okay. Doesn't really do anything too interesting. All of Pend going to Unfun. Oh, my sweet summer child. Constellars, kind of boring. They're like the XYZ variant of Synchro decks. Does that make sense? Where it's like, cool, I'm gonna go for like Junk Speeder, and it's like, cool, I'm gonna go for Constellar Pleiades, and you're like, me, because they just like take 10 years. And you're just like, damn, dude. And then they turn skip you. You're like, awesome. Crystal Beast. Crystal Beast's fine. I don't see them being one way or the other. What the hell is this? Chat, what is this one? What is this? Cubic? I hate Cubic. Everything about Cubic. Crystron. Oh my gosh, what the fuck? That's a Crystron card? Why is this not Hulk? Just make it Hulk. I know it's banned. Just make it Hulk. Anyway, real quick, Cubic. I hate it. I hate everything about it. It's a burn deck that's not a burn deck, that just doesn't synergize with anything and makes you want to pull your hair out because it's supposed to be like a slow-paced game plan, but then it also has like a bunch of burn stuff that can burn you on like a single turn and OTK you. It's so stupid, it doesn't make any sense. Insufferable. Crystrons, they're okay. They're okay. They're fine. I don't find them all that interesting. So, there you go. It's one of those things where it's just like, yeah, how do you even, like, explain Crystrons? I think the biggest issue is, like, they're so bad that it's difficult to really get any enjoyment out of playing something that is that bad. You're like, damn. That sucks. They have, like, some decent ideas by, like, synchro summoning on the opponent's turn and stuff like that. But, yeah, outside of that... Crystron need to pay the Link 2 sins. Yeah, pretty much. Dark Magician! Bad... No, I'm just kidding. Dark Magician sucks ass. Dark Magician's so boring to play. Like, in comparison, Blue Eyes is fun solely because it's, like, it's Blue Eyes. And it's pretty bad. But Dark Magician doesn't have that, and it's just boring. Right? That sounds kind of weird, but it's like, Blue Eyes is so memed on for being Blue Eyes that it's kind of funny, because you're just like, damn, it's just Blue Eyes. And you can also play, like, some of the dumbest cards because of dragons and stuff like that, and make, like, the dumbest stuff. Like, I just played Dragon Link when I played Blue Eyes. Like, it was Blue Eyes. Dark Magician just can't do that. And so it's not nearly as interesting. You're just like, lame. Garapha, or more specifically Dark World. Dark World, it's okay. It's another, like, random combo deck where, like, you just cannot predict what you're going to be able to do. So there's that. DDD I find pretty boring. The reason I find DDD boring is mostly due to the fact that Gilgamesh exists, this guy, and then also the big Machinex. Both of those cards, I hate them so explicitly. They're so bad for the deck. They make the deck so unbelievably boring. And, yeah, I just hate those cards in particular. If they didn't have those two cards, I think the deck would be pretty fun to play. But they do, and it's just like, cool. The best play is to just make Gilgamesh. Smile. I want to put these in fun, but they're really not. They're just okay. You know? Like, the concept of the novels are way more interesting than the actual gameplay. So, No animation for DDD? Doesn't King Kali Yuga have an animation? Someone Machinex at 3 pass. True. Dinos? Dinos are pretty fun. Kali Yuga has an animation, yeah. Daniels are fun. Their combos are cool. Misk sucks. For everyone else, but there you go. King Kali Yuga doesn't have an animation? What? Really? Hold on. Hold on. No shot. Burn Misk. Burn it to death. I gotta, get rid of this one. No shot. What? I could have sworn I saw one. That's crazy. I could have sworn it did. Well, I mean, doesn't really matter. It still sucks. I could have sworn I saw one. Oh well. It's not like it deserves one. It's just... could have sworn I saw one. Dinomorphia. Have I played Dinomorphia? I actually don't think I have. I do not think I've played that deck. I would put it probably in boring or actively unfun. Not gonna lie. Egyptian Gods. Holy crap. I hate this deck. I hate all of the Egyptian God cards and all of their... They're so unbelievably boring. They're awful. Dear Lanta. They're just the worst. That's all. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Draco Slayers. What's weird about the Draco Slayers is that they're kind of like a supplementary archetype to other Pendulum decks. But I actually do like the way that they work as Pendulum cards. I like that they are a supplementary deck, and I've never disliked playing those cards in particular when I'm playing like a Pendulum deck. I find them very interesting. I don't know why. I just do. But those ones in particular, they're pretty cool. They also have all of the like extra deck monsters that are really cool, like the like Synchro, which I think is like genuinely one of my favorite cards. Oh, also didn't they just get an archetype as well? They got like a whole bunch of other cards. Yeah, they're fine. Yeah, they're cool. I get super down for looping Dracos. Exactly. Oh yeah, I never did that. Dragon Maid. I'm trying to think where I would put this. Because having played it... Yeah... Like, when you actually get to play Dragon Maid, it's pretty cool. Being able to, like, loop cards and, like, generate advantage off of, like, house and stuff like that, I think is pretty fun. Shio's a pretty interesting negate. And stuff like that. I'll put it in fun. It's not insane. It's just fun. Haven't played this. Element Sabers, genuinely, one of the coolest fucking mechanics in the game, and it's not close. I wish Element Sabers were good. They're so cool. That field spell, super sick. But also, just the whole mechanic of changing attributes in the graveyard to facilitate, like, elemental lords, fucking sick as hell. They're so cool, and they're ass, and I hate it. It bothers me so much. Every time I see Element Sabers, I'm like, no, the wasted potential! Ah! It's so fun. Having played it in Duel Links as well, oh, goated. Goated. Would have been good if it was released pre-2010. True! Actually, just in 2010, it would have been good. Imagine Molehu, just in general, in that format. Just, here's Molehu. Out it. Like, have yet to play Endymion. Hero. Hero's fine. They're okay. I personally hate Hero, but, like, they're not terrible to play. They're fine. I hate the Elemental Lord hand loop, though. That is true. That's really annoying. However, also missing your battle phase after they go to the grave, or, like, go away, very frustrating. Dragon Maid need new support. Like, Chamber Dragon Maid for him or something. Yeah, you're right. Exodia? I hate Exodia. Playing Exodia is very boring. It is literally just... It's not even a flip of the coin, it's a roll of the dice. And if you get a 6, you win. And any other instant, you just lose. It's super boring. It's super unfun. Like, I enjoy winning. So if a deck actively hinders you from winning the game, while also being boring, it's going to go down here. And all of these have done that. Where it's like, cool, all of these are terrible decks that are extremely unfun and hinder gameplay, while also just not being fun decks to actually do stuff with. Even if you could do stuff, when you do stuff, they don't do anything interesting. And Exodia is exactly that. I think Exodia, the Forbidden One, is one of the coolest cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! I loved it in the anime. I love it in when it actually gets pulled off. And if you do like one of those really cool combos, like Jeff Leonard did, except it's not really that cool of a combo, it's just kind of a mid combo. But if you do that, it's cool. But in reality, it sucks ass. Exosister is... Exosister is so unbelievably sad. Because, in theory, it can do all of this really cool stuff. And in practice, what ends up happening is I go activate Martha, and my opponent goes Ash Blossom. And I go, cool, that's my turn, pass. And it's like, well, yep. It's just, it's so unbelievably frustrating to play this deck. And then if you do win, it's just like, cool, I activated Shifter. Response, and they go, fuck you. Like, yep, fair enough. Fabled is, fine. Fabled is a really bad deck, but at the very least, if you do get to play it, it's playable. Winning with Exodia is fun. Getting the cards to win with Exodia is boring. Exactly. Exactly. Okay, I have yet to play Fire King Dogmatica. That is not a thing I've played. Yeah, this one's easy. Fluffle, Frightfur, goated, absolutely god tier, just insanely super fun. Every single one of the combos is super dope. Every single one of the different venturing lines is super sick. Yeah, Fluffle, goated. Fluffle, let's fucking go. Galaxy, aka what is this? Photon. With the new support, had this been prior to the new support, I would have put this in fun. However, with the new support, I actively hate it. It's so boring. It doesn't even end on anything interesting. You're just like, cool, I'm gonna stare at my opponent with like Photon Lord and pray that this is enough. I hate it. It's so bad. Runic Generator, as well as Generator. Generator, I'm actually going to put up here. Runic Generator, I'm going to put up here. I heckin' love playing Generator. It's so bad, but it's very fun. Its removal, very cool. The field spell, very cool. But dying to the one field spell makes me not want to play it, like, genuinely. It's super unfun when you just, like, have to live or die by a field spell. That is genuinely one of my biggest pet peeves, is when an entire archetype or an entire strategy is centered around a singular card and making sure that it stays on the field. Hate that. Card art is sick as well. Absolutely. Hella is mommy. Gen X should burn in hell. Man, fuck Gen X. Even with the new support that we don't have yet in the TCG, or in Master Duel, fuck Gen X. I hate this deck. It's so awful. They don't end on anything because they don't have the activate skill button. True. Glad Beasts are so cool. Let's be 100% honest, chat. Glad Beasts, they're super fun. They're so cool. It's such a cool idea. Just like, what if I attacked you and then I got stuff because I attacked? It's like, it's such a classic like Magic thing as well, right? Where it's like, cool, I'm gonna go to combat, and on combat I do a thing, But like it's such a magic way of playing Yu-Gi-Oh, and it works perfectly. I love it. Feast or Famine and Protect the Castle don't go hand in hand, and Generator decided to play both sides anyways. True. Anyway, I'll probably put Element Saber at the bottom there. Celtic Guard. I mean, he's the GOAT. The only fun battle phase archetype. True. Subterror. Holy shit, I hate Subterror. It's so boring. It's Floodgate, but like in the most boring way Floodgates are. Right? Because I have a negate for whatever you end up doing, and if you do end up doing a thing, I'm instead going to Floodgate you. And it's like, oh. I don't mind flip decks, because there are flip decks that you will see that I really do enjoy. This one, so unfun to play. There's nothing about it that I enjoy. Actually, that's not true. Forget everything that I just said. It's slightly better. Guru Control sucks. Subterrors, decently okay. Subterrors are decently okay. If we're just rating Guru, fuck Guru. I hate that card. Every other card, all of the like big boss monsters, those ones are cool. Those ones are cool. So we'll move it up ever so slightly. It's still boring. Gusto's just boring. It's kind of just like hope and pray your opponent crashes into your stuff. Hope and pray that like they attack you, and then you get stuff, or like they don't interact with you, and you get to do your full combo and go for the sprees and stuff like that. It's bad Makonko, but also like at least it's not boring like Makonko. We'll get to Makonko. Probably. Makonko, I would imagine, is on here. Heroic Challenger is an OTK deck that is so unbelievably bad, it makes me want to cry. I am not a fan of decks that are just like, here, I'm going to punch you in the face really hard with one guy. Smile. And that is exactly what Heroic Challenger does. And then on top of that, they don't even do it well. And the combo is like extremely clunky and not very... Like, I don't know how to explain what makes a combo smooth, but genuinely, Heroic Challenger feels like you are stepping on Legos to get through the combo. Does that make sense? I'm sure it doesn't. But like that's what it feels like, right? To try and actually do the steps, you're like, okay, I gotta do this. Why the hell do I have to do that? Because that's how you do it. All right, I'm gonna do this, and then you cry because it's just painful. We already talked about Hero. That's not... What the hell? Hero. Thank you. Adagnister is just boring. Basically every Cybers deck is like this, to me. Where, at this point... Actually, let's... Do we have Mathmech? Where's Mathmech? Salamangreat is like this. Mathmech is like this. Am I blind? Hello? Where the hell is Mathmech? Huh? Is Mathmech just not on here? Okay, that's fine. Cybers decks in general, most notably Mathmech, Ignister, and Salamangreat with the new support, all basically do the same thing, which is vomit out a whole bunch of link monsters, and then either OTK you with said link monsters, like Update Jammer into access code, or do basically nothing. Or like end on like this really crazy end board with a singular card, so that you can play like 4 hand traps. It's just very not fun, because I don't know, you just do the same combo every time. Your brain just kind of melts. I've played 24 hours straight of Mathmech. I wanted to die. There you go. Adagnister at least tries to play summon mechanic combo. Yeah. They don't have to, though. Most of the Cybers decks are linear. True. You're absolutely correct. We'll get to Marincess later, but yeah. There's a reason Marincess doesn't fall into this, and I'll explain that later. Infernoble, I find extremely fun. It's like the one combo deck. I do not know why. I could not explain to you why I find Infernoble Isold combo fun. I just do. I don't know why. It's the same reason I like Spiral, which again we'll get to, but like, I could not tell you. I just do. It's fun. Smile. It's my guilty pleasure. It's like the one combo deck I'm like, yeah, that one. That one. Because they're locked to their archetype? No, they're not. No, they're fucking not. Anyway, Infernoid. Infernoids, they're just boring. They can kind of do stuff, but like I don't like the way that they interact with the game. I don't like their summoning mechanic. I don't like Decatron. Man, fuck Decatron. Me and my homies hate Decatron. Charles/Charlemagne are just cool. That really is just it. It really is just like, yeah, Charles. That's it. Also, I gotta say, playing Infernoble prior to the smoke grenade ban, when it had like none of the support that it did, and doing the jankest ass combo to end on like Apo, Baron, Charles, hand rip, and then some. It's so funny. Playing Beast of the Pharaoh to get to this combo. Oh, peak Yu-Gi-Oh! It's so bad, and I love it. Anyway, moving on. Alistair, Revolution, Synchron, I haven't played. Ice Barrier is really bland and boring. You either die to one interaction, or you do the combo, and then die to fucking Imperm. There's so many things where it's just like, yeah, you just die to like 70 things, and it makes it very unfun. And the combo's not even that interesting. It's just like a standard generic combo. I'm actually gonna put this really down here. It's like a synchro combo, but like not interesting in any remote capacity. Have you seen a synchro combo? You've seen every single synchro combo, including Ice Barrier. Jinzo. Technically, I have played this. I feel like I don't want to talk about it. It's so bad. Cosmo. I think I've played Cosmo. I haven't played it much. So I'm really like trying to think about what it was like when I played it. It was pretty fun. Cosmo's pretty fun. There's a lot that you can do with it. I haven't experimented too much with it, which is why I feel like I can't put it too high. But from what I did play, it was fun. Actually being able to play the game, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Old Infernoble bending over backwards for DDR, Omega Charles, and Smoke Grenade was so funny. It was very funny. Karibo, goated. Karibo's fucking goated. Karibo's insane. If you have not played a Karibo deck, do it. Force your opponents to sit through, killing you like 9 times over, and then never doing anything. You don't do anything except for piss off your opponent. It's endlessly funny. It's so funny. Don't do it in person though. You might get punched. Deck for War Criminal. Karibo is funny. I have not played Libromancer, nor will I. Lightsworn is the coolest mill deck. It's the second coolest mill deck ever. Milling is just fun. Let's be 1000% honest with ourselves. Sending cards to the graveyard, peak. It's peak Yu-Gi-Oh, right? If you could do one thing in Yu-Gi-Oh, it would be draw cards. If you could do a second thing in Yu-Gi-Oh, it would be send cards to the graveyard. Absolutely. Let's fucking go. What's the fourth deck on the top row? This is Generator. Lunalight. I find Lunalight just boring. There's nothing really that I enjoy about Lunalight, whether you play the combo variant of Lunalight with like Lunalight Tiger loops and stuff like that, and going into like what is it, the like XZ plays and stuff like that, or if you're doing the fusion variant and trying to OTK, both variants are pretty bland. The combo isn't all that interesting. It's just like overpowered pendulum, go, or it's activate fusion spell and punch the opponent really hard in the face, smile. Hey, milling cards is crazy. Bird Up. Bird Up is, I still think, to this day, my favorite deck of all time. I cannot express why I enjoy Bird Up as much as I do. But something about Lyrilisk Tri-Brigade speaks to me. It's endlessly fun. It's endlessly replayable. Its combo is a very basic combo, but I think it's just the way that like it interacts with individual hand traps or individual hand makeups make it really interesting. And the fact that you can play those two different engines and get two very different end boards is pretty cool. If you go in uninterrupted, it does the same combo, yada yada, boring. But overall, I don't know why, it's just great. Let's go. Earth Machine. Earth Machine's fun. Earth Machine is really fun. That's it. Let me actually order this. Well, this is technically Machina, but let's be honest, it's Earth Machine. Madolche. Madolche's okay. It's playable. The problem that I have with Madolche is that it doesn't really do anything too interesting. Yeah, that's kind of it. Like, it's okay. Machina is the first IRL deck. Nice. Okay, Marin says, why does Marincess not go right next to the other cyber strategies? Even though it does the same combo, the same playable, like, cyber build and, like, link spam and stuff like that, the difference is twofold. One, the actual end board I find to be really unique. And two, the fact that it does have a variety in what you can specifically go for, but more specifically, what happens after that turn tends to be where a lot of the difference comes from, right? It's plan going second, it's plan for going second, it's plan for going like on turn 3 and stuff like that. Basically, after your opponent has done stuff, tends to be a lot more interesting. Yes, you can just make the big unaffected Bungus, but like if you're playing in the TCG and you make like the Toad and stuff like that, or if you played it before Toad was banned in Master Duel and stuff like that, makes it very interesting. I find it to be basically at this point the only cyber stack that is at least interesting. And like Zelantis is cool. Betting not just extra deck locking you is infuriating. Yep. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. It's hard to articulate why Marincess I find to be more fun than these other two. Other than just like, yeah, it just is, right? Dogmatica. Dogmatica is boring. If we're talking about, like, ritual Dogmatica with, like, I'm gonna summon Albazoan, rip all of your extra deck cards away, it's pretty boring. Because it's just kind of like, cool, does me ripping all of the cards out of your extra deck win me the game, or do I immediately die to, like, a singular hand trap? And that's kind of it. It's not very fun. It's not actively hurting me to play, but it's not very fun. My Akashi. No, wait, this is Shiranui. Fuck, which one is this? Is this both? Because technically I think this is both. Right? Let's talk about... Ah, shit. Is Shiranui on here? Please tell me Shiranui is on here. Okay, Shiranui is not on here. Tragic. Hate to see it. Okay, The problem is Shiranui is also not on here, which I do want to talk about, because I do have different ranks for both of them. I think Shiranui is pretty fun. Shiranui is a fun deck to play. My Akashi is so boring. The problem I have with my Akashi is twofold. One, the combo is so unbelievably boring to play. To actually do the combo. It sucks. Whether in paper or not. Most of the time in paper, what you're doing is, hey, I'm going to do this, and your opponent goes, yeah, that's okay. And you just send all the cards to the grave. You don't actually do the combo, because it sucks. It's bad, right? And then the second thing is, like, whatever you're actually ending on isn't really all that interesting. Like, you're not really doing, like, you're kind of doing stuff, and it's, like, kind of okay, and you can, you know, you have a few interactions, but most of the time you're just floodgating, or you're, like, maybe doing some other things, but for the most part, it's pretty bland. It's pretty boring, right? Using the dueling skill in real life, yeah, pretty much. Where you get Bone Tower, yeah, that's also pretty boring, right? However, Shiranui, on the other hand, is more of like a zombie style deck that utilizes the graveyard pretty interestingly and has the ability to like synchro, and not just synchro into its own material, but synchro into basically any zombie and kind of cheat it out, which makes it a little bit more interesting. Kind of in a similar nature to like Tri-Brigade, which makes it, again, pretty unique. And then on top of that, like actually getting the like banish face-up effects of the Shiranui monsters makes it a lot more interesting and a lot more dynamic, and you know, gaining those additional effects for banishing them, so like if you banish them for a synchro summon, yada yada, and then you can bring them back with a myriad of different ways, and like they have a cool boss monster in Sun Saga, which is one of the coolest boss monsters in the game. I just love it. It's really interesting, at least in my mind, especially compared to Mayakashi. I would put Mayakashi genuinely here. I would put Shiranui in fun, probably. So there's that. Do we really not have Shiranui? Let me see if I can find a. Yep. Let me see if I can find a Shiranui picture and add it in. Sure, this will count as Shiranui. Trust. I like Shiranui. There you go. I'm sorry for the Mayakashi fans. It's just not for me. I think that combo is just so ass. And then it just turns into stun. And it's just, oof. But, yeah. Shiranui is based. Megalith. Megalith is goated. Megalith is so cool. What Shiranui card is that? That is not a card. It is just artwork. Megalith has one of the most interesting mechanics for a ritual summoning deck ever. Full is so unbelievably cool, right? You have access to Full, which is a quick ritual. You have access to Aerotron, which is a quick ritual. And you have access to the Quick Play spell, which I can't remember its name, which is also incredibly cool. All of this provides a really interesting way of interacting with your opponent, right? You can nuke the field, which genuinely is pretty interesting because it forces you to put additional cards into your graveyard, which are not exactly easy to get back. Like, you can, obviously you can, but like, they're not like actively doing something in the grave, right? It's not like putting Flomberg into the grave where you're just like, cool, reborn 2 guys. It's like, you're putting them there to potentially get Bethor to pop the field, which feels fantastic. On top of that, just cycling those cards and potentially doing more and more with that is super cool. Going into like Gallant Granite and doing like Block Dragon stuff when that was around was super sick. Everything about Megalith just is exactly what I love about Ritual, and it's why it's my favorite summoning mechanic. Right? Yeah. Sadly, it sucks. But I love it. It's great. Bot 5 on the opponent's turn. Fantastic. 10 out of 10. A friend of mine talked local with Megalith. Hey, if your opponents don't know anything about Megalith, you'll clap cheeks. Yeah, and every monster actually doing something on top of Ritual summoning, it's like exactly what Ritual needed as well. It's like, cool, Ritual spells, not good enough. What if we made every Ritual monster a Ritual spell? It's like, genius. And it worked. It was great. And then they printed Full, and it was even better. Magnets are kind of boring. They kind of don't do anything. Even in Duel Links, when they were meta, they were still boring. Because you were like, cool, I'm just going to tag out into a guy, and then you're gonna not be able to OTK me because I'm gonna have 3 set cards, and then on the follow up, I'm gonna Berserky on you for your life savings. Smile. Magnets and dueling sucked. Magnets in Master Duel, magnets in any other format actually, goddamn awful. They're so bad, and like they kind of do stuff. Like Delta is kind of cool, but and I like the idea of like some of the cards. You know, I like the idea of, you know, Gamma, Delta, Omega, not Omega, Gamma, Delta, Alpha, like tagging out. What is it? Gamma, Delta, Alpha, Beta, right? All of those being able to like tag out for other things is pretty cool. And then like the field spell to like bounce stuff, so it's like, well, if you out my guy, I out your guy. And like in theory, it's kind of cool, but it's so boring to actually play. It's meh. Mech Knights. Mech Knights are cool, mostly due to their gimmick of having the columns. Basically, I think literally no other deck actually utilizes that mechanic, which is cool. But that's kind of it. It's just kind of cool. Next up, Mech Lords. Mech Lords, burn in hell. Fuck you. Dear Lanta, this deck makes me want to claw my eyes out. I hate this deck. Holy crap. Mech Lords are so boring. They're like the anti-synchro deck, except they're not the anti-synchro deck. They're just the anti-themselves deck. Nothing works. Again, as I mentioned with the, what was it? The Heroic Challengers, where it's like you're stepping on Legos to accomplish the combo. It's like that, except you're just stepping on Legos and not doing anything. You're just actively putting your feet onto Legos. And it's like, why would you do that? Mermail / this is Mermail. Mermail's fine. It's okay. I don't really care. I have no preference either way. It's a fun deck. It does stuff, and it's okay. Makonko. Well, this is technically Makonko Diabellstar, but we're just going to talk about Makonko. I despise Makonko. Makonko is not fun to play because you don't really do anything. You kind of already know as soon as the game starts whether or not you're winning that game, which I don't like. And on top of that, I am not a fan of like actually doing the quote-unquote combo, which is basically just like give your opponent a kaiju and then attack into it thrice. So yeah, there's not much that I really enjoy about the like untargetable. It's just kind of like, all right, do you have the out? I don't know. It's so boring. Huli Turbo, woo. Yeah, I don't know. Just nothing about it is very fun. Mimighoul. Haven't played it, obviously. It looks dope as hell. I will say, I think Mimighoul looks really, really fun. Monarch. Look, Monarchs is genuinely fun. Monarch is genuinely extremely enjoyable to play. Reason being, when you actually do play Monarch, they work in such a weird way, but it's very satisfying, right? Actually performing tribute summons, actually performing, like, you know, tributing away your opponent's monsters, or, you know, ripping cards out of their hand, or you know, getting a tribute on the opponent's turn due to ether or stuff like that. Very interesting, very cool in the way that they work. Absolutely a Brick City. Absolutely. But when you do get to play the game, very, very fun. What's up, Dino? How's it going? Is this Goblins? I haven't played Goblins. Not gonna lie, wish I had. Nekroz. Unbelievably based. Unbelievably based. Nekroz, you will see. I will put a lot of ritual decks up high. I love Nekroz. Nekroz is so fun. Did we have Drydron? Oh, I just noticed Drydron's not on here. What the fuck? Whoa, that's wild. Anyway. What was the thing? Nekroz. The looping with Shuret and Brionek, very cool. Having the protection through the in-hand effects is very cool. Obviously, it sucks in modern day. But, like, playing in lower power formats is a lot more interesting, right? There's a lot of like bonuses with the like discard to protect from battle and stuff like that. Trish is very cool, right? Lots of stuff like that. I just really enjoy. just very solid. I like the looping that you can do. Unicor's pretty cool. Brionic's pretty cool. Yeah, a lot of the cards are pretty interesting. I'm surprised Rytron's not on here. Monarchs had the best solo mission. True. Nephthys. Nephthys is okay. I like the idea of a lot of the Nephthys cards by like popping them to get effects and stuff like that, and like popping them to trigger like ritual summons and stuff like that, but just not the Jinlock. True. Ninjas. Ninjas are pretty fun. Not insane. They're just decent. Being able to like flip everything face down is pretty fun, and that's kind of it. There's not really much to say about ninjas. They're pretty average in terms of what they do, but they do it well, and yeah, they're a solid deck. Pretty interesting. Too bad Nephthys was just left unfinished. True. What the hell? Oh, it's Nordic. Nordic. Because of the new support, I'm going to put Nordic ever so slightly above actively unfun. Nordic, I like the Azirs. I like all three of those big boss monsters. Loki, Thor, and Odin are all pretty interesting. They're all absolute garbage, though. They're so bad. And like for the most part, most of the Nordic stuff is pretty mid, but yeah, the combo's okay. It's okay. They're not great. Ninjas is what I wish Ghost Trick was. Absolutely. Numeron. If we were to include Utopic Zexal, this would absolutely be in the lowest. But because we're not including Utopic Zexal and it's basically just OTK Turbo, it's still boring. But like, if you just want to turn your brain off, it can work. But yeah, it's pretty boring. I just noticed Flu's not on here. The fuck? Why is Flunder not on here? Hold on. Hold on, chat. Hold on. Why is Flunder not on here? There we go. The fuck? Flunder, I find to be very fun to play. I actually thoroughly enjoy Flunder. It is a horrible nightmare for the opponent. I find it very fun. No, Endymion's on here. I just haven't played it, so it's down here. Is Fire King not on here as well? No shot. What the hell? What the hell? Alright, let's talk about Fire King. Plunder Patrol is here, with like Runic randomly. I don't know. This is weird. Fire King, very fun. I find Fire King extremely enjoyable. Okay, Flunder. Very fun to play, not very fun for the opponent. I like the Tribute Summon mechanic that Flunder facilitates. I like the ability to specifically kind of do your thing multiple times. Like once on your turn, once on your opponent's turn, which is pretty cool. I like Mega Raiza as an interaction point. It's pretty interesting. I don't like the Tribute Summon effect, but other than that, everything else is really cool with Flunder. At least playing it. Obviously, playing against it, it's up to your own opinion. But playing it, I think it's very fun. Fire King has some of the coolest games that you can get because of the way that they interact, right? If a card is destroyed by battle with the new Garunix and the new Ponix and stuff like that, you can special summon additional guys, and like with the Kirin, you get to pop non-targeted and special summon a guy, and like Arvada is a pretty decent interaction, and all of them like give you additional advantage if they're destroyed or sent to the graveyard and stuff like that. So you're like destroying your own cards, which is really cool, and then you also just like slowly kind of like outpace your opponent by just not being easy to deal with, right? And this is more like pure Fire King. Obviously, you can do like the Snake Eye Fire King stuff as well, which is just like balls to the walls combo, which is fine. But like pure Fire King is so cool. It's so very fun. I hate seeing Snake Eyes. Fluffle is unironically my favorite fusion deck. nice. I also hope Fluffle gets more support. It's super cool. Anyway, moving on. Ogdoadic. I have not played, surprisingly. You would think I'd played it. Actually, wait, hold on. I'm trying to think. I feel like I have played it at some point. Oh, maybe it was an NR version of it. Don't remember. I'm just going to say we haven't. Fire King is a quintessential endless conga line of assholes. The structure deck cards are literally perfect. Yep. It's great. Ojamas, I hate. Oh, dear Lanta. Playing Ojamas is a nightmare. They don't work. They just don't work. It's so awful. Bro, fuck the Ojamas. I hate them. Man. Ogdo is dope. I'm sure it is. I'm sure it's great to play. I just haven't played it. Horus Orchist is... The problem is, I hate playing Horus. Horus is so boring, but the Orchist cards are so fun. I love playing the Orchist cards. It's awesome. Right? And it's this weird dichotomy of, like, because the Orchist cards are specifically there to be facilitated by the Horus cards, the Horus cards are not the, like, highlight. They basically just barely exist, and you're more so doing the Horus stuff, or not the Horus stuff, the Orchist stuff, which I find to be way more interesting. And you're basically just doing it under, like, either having activated a zombie vampire, or more likely under a Photon Lord, and like with the what's his bucket harp in Grave, which is very fun. I find, yeah, this deck's great. This deck's great, super fun. Toss format Orchist was my goat. Toss format Orchist was pretty fun too. So there's that. But yeah, the Orchist cards are great. I have not played Runic with it. Why the fuck would you do that? Paleo! Yeah, Paleo's fun. I feel like I don't need to explain myself with this one, but I will. Playing a control deck that actually is a control deck and wins over multiple turns is pretty fun. You're not stunning your opponent by stopping them from playing the game entirely. You're just slowing down the game, which is pretty nice. All things considered, it has some pretty fun matchups just in general, and a lot of big cards that have major importance but don't immediately win the game, which is pretty fun. There you go. Have I put Chimera on the list? I have not. And I won't. I feel like I've played this deck, but I can't remember. Phantom Knights are so unbelievably boring. They are the epitome of boring. They are the most bland, basic... Like, when you think of a Yu-Gi-Oh deck, right, just like a generic Yu-Gi-Oh deck, my mind goes to Tri-Brigade, but when I think of, like, what the middle-of-the-road, like, plain white bread flavor is Phantom Knights. They're just so nothing. Like, in theory, they do stuff, but in practice, they're nothing. They're just the same thing that has happened in Yu-Gi-Oh! Since, like, 2018. So it's just kind of like, eh. Yeah, decks with only, like, 3 PKs, yeah. PK Fire or Phantom Knight Orchist was cool. Yeah, I guess. But is that a merit to Phantom Knights, or is that a merit to Burning Abyss, or Orchist, right? It's fucking Burning Abyss and Orchist. It's not to do with the Phantom Knights. The Phantom Knights are super boring. They're not doing anything interesting. Right. Predaplant. Predaplant's okay. With the new support, they became a lot more interesting. They can actually, like, go through, like, what is it? Addo something or other? Andromedus? What the fuck is that card's name? I can't remember. Anyway, with the new like fusion, they can actually do some decently interesting stuff. And then they also have the like Biplis and some of the pendulums that they do that are pretty interesting. I actually really like the way that the pendulums work in Predaplant. Like, let's take a step back and genuinely say, Predaplant pendulum monsters are how pendulums should actually work. Ambulo. That's what it is. Ambulo. Thank you. I wish Predaplant was better as well. Bufo. That's what it is. Bufo. Not Biblis. Though Biblis is also not bad. But, yeah. Honestly, 10 out of 10. In terms of pendulum design. The rest, it's all good. Moving on. Gold Pride Punk. Now, I'm probably going to put these in the same, but I would rank them separately. Realistically, I think that they're fine. I don't really... Like, Punk's pretty bland in terms of its mechanics, right? Like, you fusion summon to get into a synchro monster, which is kind of interesting, but for the most part, they're not really doing anything too fun. It's just like, oh, I lost life points because I had to pay life points for this cost for the effect, because I'm not allowed to win in time. And Gold Pride, like, kind of work with that, which is kind of cool, but overall, like, none of the Gold Pride stuff is all that interesting. It's just kind of okay. None of the stuff really piques my interest. They're fine. They're whatever. Append deck, append card that makes you fuse in a fuse deck was an insane idea. Yeah. But it's like exactly what a pendulum card should fucking be. Oh, Cleafort. Cleafort's like the definition of boring. Cleafort doesn't do anything. Cool. Punk suffers the consequence of being mainly engine. Yeah. Gold Pride Punk is pretty cool until you have to go second. Going second use Pep Turbo. Yeah. Psychic is always about paying life points. Yeah, I know. What? No, I guess Punk kind of is Psychic. It's like half Psychic. But the thing is, like, it's kind of whatever, right? They don't really do anything interesting. Super Quant is cool in theory, and in playability is pretty bland. They don't really do much, and really heavily rely on the extra deck, or not the extra deck, the field spell, to actually do anything, and the bigger Super Quant guy that is, you know, unaffected is he's just big towers. It's just towers turbo. It's not all that interesting, and the rest of the combo is kind of bland. There you go. Raid Raptor. Have I played Raid Raptor? I don't think I've played Raid Raptor, so I won't comment on Raid Raptor. Red Eyes. I'm gonna put it in boring. I don't think it's quite actively unfun. Nah, it is. Nah, Red Eyes sucks. Red Eyes is so bad. Red Eyes, I wish it was better. I really do. I wish it was more fun to play. But let's be really honest. It's so boring. It's so boring. They don't do anything. They're so confused, right? Again, I used this analogy with Heroic Challenger. It's the same thing. Trying to get through your combo, trying to get through your plays is like walking on Legos. It just sucks. Runic Naturia. I think I've played this deck like once or twice. Have I? I actually don't think I have. No, maybe I have. I'm really trying to think if I've played Runic Naturia. There's something in my brain that screams that I have, but I can't remember. Probably because I suppressed the memory. So I'm just gonna put it in haven't played. Trust. Out of all the classic monsters, Red Eyes was your favorite. I'm sorry for your loss. Plunder. Now, ignore the Runic part because, fuck Runic Plunder. But Plunder is really fun. I heckin' love Plunder, dude. Plunder. Let me move that. Plunder has some of the coolest Yu-Gi-Oh mechanics ever. Period. And it's not close. being able to tag out into specific extra deck monsters being or given what your opponent is playing, dope as hell. Being able to give your opponent a token to change that with Yord, pretty cool. I think Yord is, again, one of the really cool Pendulum cards, right? Blackbeard is really interesting. All of the cards being able to, like, search out an additional card by paying the cost if they're equipped. The equipped mechanic that they have. And the thematics. Goated. Just ignore the fact that in the solo mode, they're basically just Jake and the Neverland Pirates. Just ignore that. And just think of them as actual pirates, and they're super cool. Or think of them as like One Piece. Great. The I Hate Ash Club. Absolutely. S-Force. Not real. Oh, wait. Didn't we already do Constellar? Oh, this is technically the other thing. The other deck. Which is somewhere. We'll just... These two are basically the same deck. One's Constellar, one's Stellar Knight. But they're basically the same thing. They're the same thing. I know they're technically not the same thing. They're the same thing. Scrap. Scrap's pretty fun. Scrap has some pretty interesting combos. They're like one of the first decks that like actively gained advantage by destroying their own cards, which was pretty cool. However, a lot of their like combo is pretty interesting as well, and what they can actually do, like their individual cards are pretty interesting. And you can play the Fridge in Orchest, which is pretty cool. Goaty is fine. Now here's the thing. Having played Goaty a fair amount, like I built the deck and played it for quite some time, it's okay. It's not really anything to write home about. It gets boring pretty quickly, but it's also like pretty unique. I haven't played the new support, so there's that. I haven't played much with the new support. I technically have played it. It's just like okay though. It's basically, can your opponent deal with the one banish? They can. Great. Anyway, where's Sprite? Fucking not on this list. Huh? Hold on, chat. Hold on. There we go. There he is. He's here. Somewhere. Why the hell is Eldritch here? What the fuck? Anyway, Shaddoll! I like Shaddoll. Shaddoll's really cool. I like the mechanic. I like the way... I like all of the fusion monsters for Shaddoll. Apcalone? Apcalone, right? No, sorry. Shekinaga. Shekinaga is my personal favorite. Gotta love Shekinaga. Oh. Earth? Absolutely goated. On top of that, fantastic artwork, but that's beside the point. In terms of actually playing the game, though, Shaddoll has some of the more interesting mechanics when it comes to fusions that are like genuinely perfected in Shaddoll, which was like the first iteration, and like Branded fucked it up. Shaddoll's great. I love the flip effects as well. I like the send to graveyard effects. I think it all works really, really well and really clean and really elegant. And just it's clean. I love it. I love Shaddoll's. I mean the deck until Pendulum became playable in Master Rule 3. True. Super Heavy Samurai is super boring. Mostly due to the new support, but even prior to the new support, it was pretty boring. They don't really... They're just a combo deck. And not like an interesting combo deck. They're just a combo deck. Cool. That's all. Synchron is also pretty boring. Hey, did Junk Speeder get ashed or impermed? Cool. Stop playing the game. That's it. That's game over. Oh, you bricked? That's it. Game over. Super Heavy Samurai Stream Train? was funny. What? Oh yeah, the steam train. That is funny. You're right. Six Samurai is fine. The problem with Six Samurai is it's similar in nature to a lot of other combo decks, but because of the fact that you heavily rely on like a lot of the counters, and I do like the counters, I think that they're pretty cool. Other than that, I don't know. Nah, I don't know. Yeah, this deck's kind of boring to play. It's just another combo deck. Like it's slightly more interesting, but not much. I just like Sams. Fair. Skulls have been so boring to play. Having actually played this deck now, it's not very fun. It's okay. You know what? I'm gonna actually move it up. It's not. No, it is just actually boring. It's just boring. You don't really do much. You just kind of like hope and pray that you can like punch your opponent. Well, except it does tend to take more than one turn. It's not just like, cool, I'm gonna lightning storm you and then punch you in the face. It oftentimes tends to be a little bit better than that. So at the very least, it's like an interesting OTK. It's also endlessly funny. So I don't know. Six Sam at least has a mid-range variant now. I mean, technically. I hate Synchrons now because of Excel Stardust and Synchro Rumble exist now. You can even nib the deck and end their turn. Because they get Crimson and Blazar are red, Supernova anyways. True. Six Sam was just a nightmare when Shockmaster was legal. True. It's boring, but the artwork is cool. Yeah. Chat. Where do we put Sky Striker? Where do we put it? In playable. It's fine. It's okay. I don't find it all that interesting. In terms of like a control deck, it's perfectly average. There's nothing exceptional about it. There's nothing terrible about it. It does what it does. It can randomly OTK. You can play it going second. You can play it going first. It's fine. It's okay. I don't really find it all that enjoyable. In terms of a control deck, I'd much rather play, Paleo or Shadal or fucking Element Saber. Like, I would rather play Element Saber if it were remotely playable. Sadly, it's not. But, like, I would much rather do that. Just because it's more fun. I'd rather play Karibo. I personally hate Sky Striker. But in terms of playing it, I don't think it's, like, all that fun. It's fine. Labyrinth I would rather play, yeah. It's fine. It's okay. It's an average control deck. Speedroid is another boring combo deck that does boring combos. And has Terror Top at 3. Man, fuck Terror Top. Man, fuck Terror Top. Spellbook. I love Spellbook. I don't know why I like Spellbook. I just do. Spellbook's cool. Spellbook, there is something that speaks to me with Spellbook. I don't know what it is. I just like activating cards. Drawing cards is cool. Adding cards to your hand is cool. Cards are cool. Spellbook's cool. Don't know why, but I like it. Hold up, where is Lab? Great question. What am I missing? I'm missing Lab. I'm missing Stun. I'm missing... What was the other one? Drytron. Drytron was the other one. Alright. Let me see if I can find those. Okay, that one will work for Lab. What was the other one? All the Vsauce lore decks? Wait, is Tyr not in here? What the fuck? Vsauce Starfrost. It's the PNG. Whoops. That one will be mana, I guess. There's Scareclaw Tryhard. Do that one. Oh, I clicked the wrong button. Ignore that. Ignore that one. Uh, Kid Colors. Do we not have Rika? Alright, I'll do Rika. I have played Rika. I don't have a Rika card. Fuck. No! Oh, I just realized I don't have Rose Dragons on here. Oh, shit, fuck. Nope, not that one. Stop. No! What was it? Rika? I do have Adventure on here. It is... Where did I put it? I think I put it in Boring. And it's right there. Should we also talk about what's the other one? I haven't played Dark Scorpion, so don't worry about that. Dragon Link? Oh yeah, we could do Rocket. I think I just have Rockets, right? Don't I? I probably have like Rocket Tracer or something. What the fuck are you over here now? Why the hell are you over here? You don't get to look at my pictures. There we go. Rescue Ace? That one's not on here. You're right. Rescue Ace. Oh, Rise Heart, thank you. Cash, Tira. We'll do Fenris. And then what was it? What was the other one I was thinking of? Dryas? Oh, Drytron. Sun Avalon is the card that I'm thinking of. Dang. I don't have it. No. Bam. Bam. His voices not on here? Damn. Okay, we'll put voices on here as well. This one. I really don't like Voiceless Voice. Why? Have you played it? This one. No, not fuck. This one. No, go over here. Why are you like this? Where the hell? Where did it go? Oh, there it is. What did I miss? Voiceless Voice is maximum boring. What the fuck? Isn't Unchained on here? Yeah, Yama's right there. Yama's right there. Zodiac's not on here, yeah. Dragon Link. No, we did that one. I thought Dragosys is a good start. People should make better templates. If this is a pre-made list. What do you mean better templates? I mean, to be fair, they have a ton of cards. You hate the Voiceless Voice board with Max C? That shit's unbreakable to me without board breakers. Yeah, but you can, like, ash it or, like, imperm in, like, 6 different ways and it stops it. Yeah, if they draw, like, a really good hand, yeah, it's difficult. Right, but, like, isn't that most boards? If you don't have board breakers and they go uninterrupted, it's difficult to break. Like, that's the point of the board breaker, right? And that's the point of, like, a board? Huh? Pearly. That's a good one. Oh, that one looks really bad. Ignore that one. That one's just bad. There we go. Look at that one. That one's much better. Witchcrafter? Okay. Is Witchcrafter not on here? Tragic. Morphtronic? I've technically never played Morphtronic. The hell? What's that card's name? What? No shot. No shot, I don't have that. No shot, I don't have that. That's crazy. Is Yubel? Yubel is not there. Thank you. Whoop. I do not have Yubel. What the fuck? Dooga 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 dooga. We did Black Wings, yes. No! I don't want the fucking web pea. Ah! Oh, I do have. Never mind. I'm stupid. Hold on, I already had it. No, move over here. What else am I missing? The type they use for voices barely has any rituals in the first place. True. Valmonicas? I haven't played Zephyra. Wait, have I played Zephyra? Oh, maybe I have. No, I think I have played Zephyra. Shit. Oh, Sword Soul's not on here. What the fuck? Chat, you all missed Sword Soul. You're all fired. No, Sword Soul is on here. Oh, but Tenyi's not on here. That's cringe. No, not Tenki. Tenyi. No. Fish. Shut up. Sick. Yeah. Moye's, it was hidden. That was why I was like, what? Where's Sword Soul? Because I didn't realize we were already in the S's. Branded was the one I was thinking of. I love this artwork, by the way. This is genuinely one of my favorite artworks in Yu-Gi-Oh! This Branded Fusion. It's so goated. I haven't played Volcanic, so I won't say... what was it? Valmonica? Right? Stun was the other one that I was thinking of. Pachycephalo. Coolio. Wow, how many cards? How many decks did we add? A few. Sword Soul was already here. That's why I didn't put it. I saw it as soon as I said, hey, what about Sword Soul? Gishki? I haven't played Gishki. Haven't played Shino. Okay. We'll begin there. You can keep thinking of stuff. Centurion! There you go. Centurion. We haven't done Centurion. There will continue to be more. I wish to give this a link to and trap at release. For which? For what? Oh yeah, I wish they gave us the full Memento package. That would have been nice. What link to? For what? For Valmon? Oh, Valmonica. Valmonica has a link to? What the fuck? Right? Anyway, Spriggan. I like Spriggan. Spriggan's fun. Spriggan's cool.
Do I have anything to say about Spriggan? Not particularly. Spriggan's just cool.
Is Vanquish Soul? I'm pretty sure Vanquish Soul is on here. Yeah, Vanquish Soul is on here. Spiral. Spiral, to me, goes right next to Inferno. I love Spiral. I don't know why. It's just one of those combo decks that I just really enjoy. I wish I could tell you. Dark Lord's not on here. Thank you. Thank you. Now we gotta put Dark Lord on here. Now I gotta talk about it. Starry Night is pretty boring. And if you say otherwise, you're wrong. Yeah, Starry Night, I don't know. It's okay. It's okay. Memento? I don't really have anything to, like, Starry Night doesn't really do anything. Just kind of stares at you. Hopes that you can't deal with, you know, a singular pop. And also then it just breaks. Smile. Not the Christmas dragon. What was the what? Memento. Meme. There it is. All right. Pendulum. I really want to put it in actively unfun, but it's not. It's just boring. It's just not a fun deck. The problem that I have with Pendulum, more specifically as like Pendulum Magician, or like Magician Pendulum, or like the Pendulum Pile style deck that basically Pendulum has equivalated to, is the fact that its existence makes Pendulum as a mechanic have to be terrible. Like, it just has to be bad, because Pendulum Magician does exist, right? And that sounds really weird, but because of things like Electromite, because of things like the new Zark stuff, and because of like a lot of the way that like the Pendulum Magician stuff tends to work and do well, it means that oftentimes most Pendulum cards have to, or like basically are forced to function in a similar capacity, right? Like Valence works in a very similar capacity, right? Draco Slayer works in a very similar capacity, etc., etc. And it's just, I don't know, it makes Pendulum really bad because of like the existence. because of the existence of like more specifically Electrolyte, but also like Astrograph and stuff like that. But yeah, all in all, I find the combo and the end boards and the going second and a lot of this stuff just very boring. Don't judge a Pendulum deck as a Pendulum Soup deck. This is a Pendulum Soup deck. This is the Pendulum Soup deck. It's just Pendulum cards. I don't see Eldritch. Eldritch is right here. Sushi. It's... Look, Suship has some of the coolest artwork in the game. It's a very cool concept. It's so boring to play. Excuse me, by the way. Sword Soul. I love Sword Soul. Sword Soul's so endlessly fun to play. It's frustrating how much it has been power crept. But it is, like, exactly what I want out of a top-tier strategy. I love it. I love it. The Vanilla's flavor text of Suship is so cool. Yeah. Greatest flavor text. Therions. Therions are pretty cool. They're okay. They're not the most interesting, though, and they don't really do all that much. But they're decently okay. They're mostly used as, like, an engine, which I think is fine. Suship on Duel Links is fine. Yeah, but that's Duel Links. Thunder Dragons. Thunder Dragons are decently fun to play. Colossus is a horrible card, just in design. But overall, Thunder Dragons are fine. Do I like what? I don't know what that means. I believe this is Time Lord. And if it is Time Lord, holy crap, that deck is unbelievably unfun. Holy. It hurts to play this deck. Because you're like, cool, here's a normal summon. It doesn't do anything, but maybe it does. And then you attack and then it goes away and it's like, fuck. It is Time Lord? Yeah. Time Lords is so boring, dude. They're like, they're not even just boring. They're like actively painful to play. Ugh. It's the synchro they can't play, of course. Tindangle! I haven't played Tindangle. This is Tistina, right? Why would they use that card for it? Oh, whatever. Imperm. Tistina. Toons! I hate Toons. Playing Toons, playing against Toons, just everything with Toons is so ass. It's just so boring. And, like, playing them yourself, you're just kind of, like, 90% of the time, you're just breaking. And then if you do get to play the game, it's not even interesting. Man, it sucks. It's so lame. Sprite, on the other hand. I love Sprite. Should I like Sprite? Probably not. Do I love it anyway? Absolutely. Why? I don't know. I could not tell you. There is something about Sprite that just works so well for me. I think the biggest thing is I love having a conditional inherent summon. That sounds really weird, but like Diabellstar, the Sprite cards, Cyber Dragon, they all feel so cool. Being able to just slap them down and hit the field. Even the Blue Eyes Alternative Dragon. They're so fun to play. Because it's like, you still have to meet the condition, but if you do, boom, here's a guy. Boom, here's a guy. And it's so fun. And then on top of that, because of Sprite having the ability to synergize with any twos, you can play him with, like, Tri-Brigade, you can play him with Melfi, you can play it with Runic, you can play it with this or that or the other thing. There's so many different variants as well. I love it. It's so good. It's so fun to play. It's so cool. And they have so many, like, weird synergies and, like, mechanics that just work so well. It's great. I love it. 10 out of 10. No notes. Michion and Sandion into Gustav Max is very funny. What the fuck? What are you talking about? I really want to know what kind of substances were used when designing Tistina. All of them. Eldritch. I don't know why he's down here, but Eldritch. The Golden Lord. I actually do really enjoy playing the Eldritch cards. I think every single one of the Eldritch cards themselves are really, really well designed. Right? The problem is floodgates do exist, so of course you're going to play them with floodgates. But outside of the floodgate variants, I think a lot of the like Eldritch variants, like Zodiac or like the Synchro Eldritch stuff and all of that jazz, I find it very fun. So I genuinely do like Eldritch. Find it fun to play. Trap Tricks, they're fine. They're an okay control deck. They feel very similar in nature to Sky Striker, just in a kind of on like a different axis, right? Like Sky Striker is a deck that controls the game by out-advantaging, whereas Trap Tricks controls the game by slowing you down, right? If that makes sense. So it's like you have these two variants of control where it's like slow down the opponent or generate insane advantage and kind of like outpace your opponent through that without like dying. And that's like Sky Striker is this one, and then Trap Tricks is the other one. And they're fine. They're okay. They're fine. If only the trap holes weren't giga ass outside of Floodgate. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, Grave Diggers isn't that terrible. Trickstar. Hello? Trickstar's okay. I like Trickstar. Trickstar's fun. The like burn mechanic. This is one of the coolest burn mechanics in Yu-Gi-Oh, and it's not, and it's just not close, right? If you wanted to play a burn deck in like a Magic style burn deck in Yu-Gi-Oh, this would be it. The problem is Magic is terrible. If you were playing Magic in Yu-Gi-Oh, you're gonna get absolutely thoroughly spanked. But with that being said, like this feels very similar to like a burn deck in Magic, or like a burn deck in almost any other TCG, right? While also just being cool and dynamic, and the way that like it works is pretty fun. It's not perfect, right? But it's pretty cool. Next gen archetype burn for special summon. Don't they have a card that does it? I'm pretty sure there is a card that doesn't. Base Trap Trickstar is mad fun. Shame the support was trash outside of Noble Angel. True. Hello? Hello? There it is. True Draco is pretty boring. No, it's not. It's okay. It's okay. It's not that boring. It's just meh. You can play it. I can take it or leave it, you know. I'm not like actively seeking to play it, but I'm never like actively not going to play it or like having a bad time playing it. It's just kind of like, it's there. You know, you could like tribute summon sometimes, and like it has a cool gimmick. It's just not very interesting to me. So there you go. Free Masterpiece? No. Fuck that. I don't want another Towers in this goddamn game. Please don't. Keep his ass on the list. I don't care if he theoretically can come back in terms of balance. I don't want him. I don't want him. Umi. I've played this deck. I hate this deck. This deck makes me want to cry. Man, fuck this. Fuck this stupid card. I hate Umi. It's so boring. And on top of that, it's so insufferable how, like, the cards work. And you brick so often. Which I do hate. But even without that, like, if you do get to play the game, you're not actually playing the game. You're standing there, staring at your opponent. Bleh. Please unban Masterpiece so I can abuse it in Belmonica. No! Put Charvara back to 3, please. Please. Speaking of, Unchained. Yeah, Unchained. Unchained's goated. Unchained has one of the coolest combos. It has one of the coolest end boards. It has one of the coolest sets of interactions. It has one of the coolest gimmicks. It's so cool. I heckin' love Unchained, dude. Unchained is based. Based! I used to play against Unchained at my locals, and I used to hate it because I had no idea what they did, and then I learned what they did, and now I think that they're based. They're super fun. They're super, super fun. They're great. Love it. Ban Maxi, thank you. I haven't played Earth's Arctic. I have played Utopic, and it's Not interesting. That's all. It's just kind of... It's hard to be like, it's a standard Xyz deck. Because it's not. It's like a rank 4 spam deck. But it also does like a bunch of different lines and like has the ability to do a whole bunch of different things. But none of the stuff that it actually does is all that interesting. And the end board is basically, hey, can you out my end board? Let's find out. And that's kind of it, which I don't like. I prefer having interactions, even if they're like weaker interactions. I prefer at least doing something, even if it's just like, hey, I'm gonna do my combo on your turn, like with Flunder or something like that. But yeah, it's whatever. It's not very interesting. Vampires, on the other hand, vampires are super duper fun. Having played them in the NR format, vampires are super cool. And a lot of the cards are very fun to actually utilize, right? Also, being able to like steal your opponent's monster and then Xyz summon with it, even regardless of level, super cool. There's a bunch of stuff like that. Just makes it very fun. Until it matches evenly. True. Vanquish Soul. Again, one of the most fun decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't play it very often because it's just bad right now, but with that being said, it is super fun. It definitely is one of the, if not the most well-designed Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck. It feels like you are playing a fighting game in a card game, which is awesome. You feel like you are entering those, like, buttons. You're, like, clicking the buttons and, like, doing the quarter circles. It feels great. It's super interesting. Each one of the card artwork is great. Caesar has Luscious Locks, as you know, as a Tri-Brigade enjoyer. Gotta love those Luscious Locks. It's great. 10 out of 10. No notes. No notes. I just realized Pure Tri-Brigade is not on here, which is a crime. That is not allowed. Okay, that one doesn't really work. That one will. Virtual World. Yeah, Virtual World's also extremely fun to play. I really like this gimmick of, like, having to target a card on the field to get the guy onto the field and then do another thing based on what card you targeted. It's super cool. And because of the fact that it does lock you into Synchro and Xyz, it means that it oftentimes isn't, you know, vomiting out a whole bunch of monsters. Very, very fun. Very, very cool. Lots of really interesting combos. Anything for Lulu. Pog. Macro is really cool. Yeah. When I'm playing it, yeah. It's great. Shinshin used to be so seen back in the day. Yeah. The revealing part is like you input buttons in the fighting game. Yeah. I want Venus and Sword Soul support so badly. Absolutely. I agree, Blaze. Absolutely. Weather Painter is... I cannot express how much I do not enjoy playing Weather Painter. I played like maybe 2 games of Weather Painter. Each one of those games, I wanted to die. I hate Weather Painter. It's so boring. I understand if you enjoy the mechanic. I hate it. I hate it. It's so bad. It's okay, it's not actually bad. It's a cool mechanic. I think it's executed poorly. Right? Similar to pendulums. I think pendulums are a cool idea that have been executed poorly. And I think the same thing happens with Weather Painter. Because you can literally see with the new support, they were just like, I don't know, fucking forget it and just make a big guy that's a negate. That's it. Just do that. And it's like, that's lame. That's really, really lame. And yeah, it's so insufferable. It's dodging effects and stuff like that. Like, it's cool, right? But you're not really doing all that much. And it's so clunky and uncontrollable and just boring. Ugh. World Legacy is pretty good. It's pretty good. I love the utility. My monsters are ammo style. They got it. I also enjoy that your columns matter in the deck too. Yeah, that's like... that's like interesting, but then actually playing the deck feels like rubbing sandpaper across your skin. You're just raw skin. It's like, why would you do that? That's just painful. Anyway, Word Legacy is fine. It's like a cool-ish combo deck that like has some interesting points of interaction and like some cool boss monsters like Adermax and stuff like that. But for the most part, it's kind of whatever. It's kind of whatever. Oh, this is the new like Sark archetype that just came out in the TCG. Haven't played it yet. Probably never will. Let's be honest. Labyrinth. I heckin' love Lab, dude. Where do I put Lab? I'm gonna put it here. Labyrinth is my favorite control deck, period. All three of these, well, this one's more of a combo deck. These two are more mid-range, and this one's probably a control, right? Maybe you could say this one's also a combo deck, but it can be mid-range. And it can also be control. Sprite's interesting. Anyway, Labyrinth is definitively my favorite control deck. I think the way that it interacts specifically with traps is very cool. Obviously, you can play it with, like, stun, right? Which I never do. I think I've played, like... I have rarely played Floodgates in this deck. And the reason for it is just because I'm not as good with the Floodgate variants, because I feel like I can't do anything. However, outside of that, I think that the deck has a lot of interesting stuff that you can do. Right? Being able to, like, chain to set additional cards, giving yourself protection with, like, set cards, being able to go into... being able to go into the lovely with like big welcome and all of that stuff, and being able to like generate the advantage off of that, going for a myriad of other things. It's just very, very useful, and there's lots of different stuff that you can do, which makes it very fun. And because of the fact that it generates advantage off of normal traps rather than like just traps in general, it does have like meaningful restrictions, which I find to be really interesting. I'm hearing ban Floodgate. Ban Floodgate. I don't know why I have just Vsauce here, but he's here. Just put him there. Scareclaw. Scareclaw is pretty boring. There's nothing about Scareclaw that like really excites me. It's there. It exists. Tryhard. Woo. That's it. That's it. Mana. I'll put mana in playable. I think it does something that a lot of these other combo decks that are here don't, which is... No, I'm lying. I'm fucking lying. No, it does the exact same thing as like every other combo deck. It's just a combo deck. It just, like, it does stuff. It abuses the fact that it can fusion summon multiple times from the graveyard. And it's like, that's a perk, I guess, and then they make Baron, and you're just like, great. It's just a Synchro deck. Just kind of, yeah, it's boring. It's boring. Tearlament. I like Tear. Tear's really cool. I'm actually gonna move Shaddoll down a bit. I really like Tearlament. I think when it was Tier 0, it wasn't nearly as fun because it was so dominant. However, with meaningful restrictions, both in the TCG and in Master Duel, I think that the way that Tearlament currently plays is rather unique, as well as incredibly fun. Million cards, again, as I said, the first thing people want to do in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is draw cards. The second thing is send them to the grave. It's just super duper fun, and being able to get rewarded for sending cards to the graveyard is very nice. On top of that, I think that the interactions are varied enough to be interesting and unique enough to be entertaining, which makes it, again, a lot more interesting. And it's like just genuinely one of the most fun combos to perform, because you do have to make it up as you go, depending on the mills and depending on stuff like that, which is very great. I like it. The gotcha mill with waifu. Yeah, pretty much. Tier above Sprite? Yep. Having played more outside of just like when they were the best deck, has really made me appreciate how incredibly fun Tier is. Bring back the Millers? Absolutely not. Fuck those cards. They can burn in hell. I hate them. Those mill cards are the worst. No way I put Flu in most fun. Have you played Flu? Look, this is not to play against. This is to play. Have you played Birds? It's great. It's so fun. Like, genuinely play it. It's great. I like the Millers. Just take Kit out. Oh, I'm the opposite. Keep Kit. Kill the Millers. Next up, Dragon Link. Dragon Link, great. Dragon Link, great. 10 out of 10. Yeah, it is such an interesting combo deck. It has so much going for it in terms of, like, the varied ways that you can go through your combo. Obviously, now it kind of sucks. Ban Elf and unban Merly, and it'll all be good. Honestly, the thing is, we could talk endlessly about, like, what should happen with tier, but as far as I'm concerned, I think right now, the way that Sprite is and the way that tier is, I would not change in Master Duel. They're both super duper fun without being oppressive. I think they work great in multiple different ways, in multiple different facets, and I wouldn't change them. Because right now, they're working, they're so good. They're not, like, the best deck, but they're playable. They're enjoyable, because they're still consistent. And they have things that they can do. Right? So I just don't want to mess with that. Because, like, as we see in the TCG, Tier Elements is basically not seeing any play. Right? And they have access to, like, a bunch more stuff. Like 3 per Lorino and 3 of Tier Cash and stuff like that. And I'm just like, do we need that? I'd rather have Kit. You know, and stuff like that. Anyway. Wouldn't mess with those. But Dragon Link. Dragon Link can have Wyverburster back. Why the fuck did we ban Wyverburster? What happened to Wyverburster? Why did we do that? Why did we do that to him? He didn't do anything. Bring my boy back. I love Dragon Link. I think that, like, having played it, it's incredibly fun. The Bestials added a whole bunch. The Rockets are super enjoyable. The combos are so varied and dynamic. Being able to play, like, through a bunch of hand traps is really cool. Being able to play a bunch of hand traps yourself as well is very, very interesting. It's a very, very fun deck to play. I can understand not enjoying playing against it. Again, similar to Flu. But playing it, very, very fun. My favorite Towers deck? Kind of. But again, the Towers is only a Towers to monsters, as opposed to a Towers in general. Like Adagnister, you know, and stuff like that. So you still have a lot of outs to the Rockets and to the Borals and stuff like that. So at the very least, I don't think it's like the end of the world. But yeah, they're pretty cool. I hate dragons. I'm sorry for your loss. Next up, Rescue Ace. Rescue Ace is pretty boring. Okay, it's not that boring. It's okay. It's okay. Yeah, it does like Set 4 Pass, but it's also kind of like a combo deck. It's very mid-range, right? Because none of the cards individually do a whole lot. But, like, you do have a ton of points of interaction, which is the big thing. But even with that being said, it's just kind of mid. Like, meh. Free Toad, absolutely. I think Infernal will scratch an itch Dragon Link left behind. Yeah, probably. You're probably right about that one. Seeing as how I have them both in the same tier. No, I don't. Where did I put Infernal? Yeah, I put Infernal up here. Did I not? Am I crazy? Where is it? There it is. Yeah. It's not like Borland is super unaffected by junk. It just has, like, protection. That is true. Wait, why is Spell Speed 4? I don't see Lab. Lab's right here. Sorry, it's not a card. It's fan art because that's what I had. That's what I had. I'm sorry. I had to put this one in. Kashtira is very boring. I dismantled Rescue to craft voice based. Anyway, yeah. Kashtira. Smile. It's just boring. Like, even if you do the combo, you just kind of sit there and hope that your opponent doesn't have the out. You know, you're not really making decisions. You're just clicking buttons. It's meh. I've yet to find it interesting, even remotely. I think the mirror match might be a little interesting, but other than that, it's like, who gives a shit? It's so boring. Drytron. Wait, have I played Drytron? I have. I've played a tiny bit of Drytron. Not much. However, having played Drytron, I do not find it enjoyable. It is a combo deck that spits in the face of rituals and the way that rituals work, and not in like an interesting way, right? It's not like Megalith where it's like, cool, you know, we're gonna make all of the monsters also spells, and it's not like Voiceless Voice where it's like, well, you only need to ritual summon once and that's your big boss monster, right? It's just a fucking combo deck that ends on a ritual monster. That's all that it does. It's just a combo deck. It's not really interesting. Yeah. Is this the lowest ritual? Technically speaking, yes. Ritual-centric deck. Sun Avalon is also kind of boring. I'm also going to put Rika with this. Did I already do Rika? What? Did I not already do Rika? Hello? Hold on. There it is. There we go. Imagine the TCG unbanned the Millers for Worlds. Well, the OCG would also have to do that. That would suck. I'm going to tell you right now, the Millers should not exist. They are horribly designed. And not fun Yu-Gi-Oh! They might be fun for one person, but they're definitely not fun for both. Which is why they shouldn't exist. Anyway. Plant is just the same linear combos, except that it's absolutely not. That's what makes Plants at least remotely interesting. However, it is a combo deck. And it's not, like, that fun of a combo deck. And I despise Rika Con, and using it isn't any more interesting than not. It's like, it's okay. I can see why people like it. It's just very much so not for me. I like what the end board does. Oh, I'm the exact opposite. I think it's interesting how they get to their end board. Their end board is what I hate the most. I like the Millers. It's better than Zombie Vamp. I mean, objectively speaking, yes, they are better than Zombie Vampire. However, Zombie Vampire, I think, is much more interesting of a card. Because there's, one, a lot more ways to interact with it, but two, it's harder to get access to, which I think is way more important. Anyway, beside the point. Millers suck. Let's move on. Voiceless Voice. I like Voiceless Voice. They're not, like, the most fun, but I do really enjoy them. I like the fact that your end board isn't this big, like, I'm going to negate every single one of your plays. It's more of, I am going to negate your most important play, and hopefully you're not able to then push through my board, and then I can kill you on the crackback due to my cards just generating me more advantage more quickly and more consistently. And then, like, generating another big Omni negate, right? And stuff like that. You can also, like, Saravis, which is really cool, multiple times. You have access to Blessing, which I think is one of the coolest cards for a ritual deck. There's also, like, the Trap that also generates more advantage or has the ability to be interaction, which is really cool. There's just a ton of stuff like that that's very, very cool. I like it. Zodiac. Zodiac's fun. I enjoy Zodiac. They're not insane, but they're decently fun. They genuinely break the mechanic of Xyz, but to me in an interesting way at the very least. And they're not insane in any capacity, especially without multiple Rapier. So that's nice. Ragnarok doesn't do anything to Rika. In a format Max C still is free. Yeah, pretty much. Pearly. I do enjoy playing Pearly. It's not my favorite, but I do enjoy it. It's pretty fun. Element Saber is way too high, I'm sorry. Element Saber, way too high. Also, Sword Souls should probably be higher. Pearly, very fun. I enjoy Pearly. All of the cards having that, like, additional effect that does matter, but not always, is pretty cool. right? Like all of the quick plays having that like secondary effect that matters is pretty cool. Like the way that the quick plays work in particular with like Perlily and all of that jazz is pretty interesting. All of the Xyz and the way that you summon them is pretty interesting. I think Noir is one of the, it's probably the only actual unaffected monster that I think is well designed, because of the fact that while it is unaffected, it's only unaffected if you don't use the effect, basically, which I think is pretty cool. You can obviously stack more material onto it to make it so that you can still use the effect while still being unaffected, which I think is fine. That basically rewards you for going uninterrupted, as well as, you know, potentially just having enough to like push through the interactions, right? But it still is like, it's not so insane that decks can't deal with it, right? Like, most decks have a way to deal with Noir, even without main decking or side decking something for it, right? And like, it's not difficult to slow them down or to stop them, which I think is fun. But again, that's more so playing against them. Playing the deck, though, really, really interesting. I think there's so many different things that you can do, given your hands and stuff like that, that make it very, very fun. Witchcrafter. Witchcrafter I do find to be fun. Too bad it's really bad. But I do like all of the mechanics that Witchcrafter has. You know, sending a card to the graveyard to special summon another guy. You know, sending for like a quick effect speed and stuff like that. Vere being, you know, battle, a way to win battle while also being able to negate a board is pretty interesting and stuff like that. This is what Jessica's just crying about it. Once Molchummy released, Rika died. Tragic. Yubel is fine. Yeah, Yubel's fine. I don't really have anything positive to say about it. I don't really have anything negative to say about it in terms of playing it. No, I do have something to say. I am not as big of a fan of the way that it wins games. I find that very boring. But overall, I think that the combo is pretty cool. And I despise Phantom of Yubel, but it is a cool card to play. There you go. Fiend Link. Branded. Branded's okay. Branded's decently fun to play. Sprite variant Yubel is kind of fun. Yeah, but that's because it's Sprite. Branded's fun. My biggest gripe with it, and the reason I wouldn't necessarily put it higher, is due to the fact that it feels like you really have to just kind of draw better most of the time. And oftentimes it just kind of feels like you just generate so much advantage that it kind of doesn't matter what you do. Right? Like, you just click buttons and generate insane advantage. However, the branded community, Dear Lanta, they are the fucking worst. They're so bad, dude. Branded players are so annoying. Anyway, that's it. Branded, it's decently fun to play. Memento. Memento is very fun to play. I enjoy Memento. Memento's nice. In TCG, it's better. No. It's the same. I've played both. It's the same. It's fine. It's okay. It's not really doing anything. Memento's very fun to play. Well, it's fun to play. But that's kind of it. It does a very linear combo, and that can kind of get sick pretty fast. But like, hey, if you do the combo, it's kind of funny. Tenyi. I do really enjoy Tenyi as well. Not insane, but pretty decent. Has some cool mechanics. It's kind of it. It's more consistent. Branded in the TCG? Yeah. That's great. That doesn't really matter. The combo isn't, like, insane. I still put it in fun. It's still fun. It's just not, like, my most favorite. It's okay. It's fun. I just don't play it because, ooh. Anyway, Centurion's great. Centurion is genuinely one of the It's one of the synchro decks that's not a synchro deck, right? That sounds really weird, but it's like, it is synchro focused, and it does specifically want to synchro summon, but because of the levels and stuff like that, it's not just vomiting out synchro monsters, which is great. It's super fun. It's super dynamic. The way that it interacts is not, it's not all that interesting, but like at the very least it has like some dynamic to it, and yeah, it's pretty fun. Centurion above Dragon Link, yep, and above Fire King. Obviously Tri Brigade. Tri Brigade's goated. Tri Brigade just in general. Tri Brigade Sprite, Tri Brigade Pure, Tri Brigade Melfi, Tri Brigade Zodiac, Tri Brigade, goated. I love Tri Brigade. Dark Lords. Look, it has been a hot second since I have played Dark Lords. Let's be honest with ourselves. Dark Lords are not very good. But damn it, if they're not fun to play. I still thoroughly enjoy Dark Lords. They'll go right there. There's something about playing Dark Lords that just makes it so fun. I don't know. I think it's just due to the fact that it is kind of what a top tier strategy should be, if that makes sense. Where it's like they have a whole bunch of these effects, right? But they have these meaningful restrictions, and you know, you can do all of this other stuff that like really does. You know, you can vary it up and stuff like that, but you still really do need to play a big core of the Dark Lords, and yeah, I just like all of their effects. They're pretty interesting. They're, you know, the Graveyard Revival and the lore and all of that. I don't know. They're very fun. First Dark Lord's great. Being able to nuke the field on the opponent's turn is very fun, and yeah, just really cool cards. I just realized we are missing one. We're missing one. Okay, that didn't work. There we go. Ritual Beast. Let's quickly talk about Ritual Beast. Now, what I will say is that I don't think I've played it with the new support. I was trying to think back if I've played that with the new support, and I don't think I have. Maybe I have. Despia Dark Lord was fun, you're right. However, I played it a ton in Duel Links, and I played it a ton post-Duel Links in Master Duel, and I will say both of those really, really fun. I really, really do enjoy Ritual Beast, and I'm super excited for the new stuff. Because of the way that the Ritual Beasts work with the limitation to the summoning mechanics similar to Dark Lord, I think that they are very fun, and I'm really looking forward to the new support. So there you go. Put it pretty high, but not all that high. Valmonica is fine. It's okay. It's decently fun, but it's not really like all that exciting. It's just kind of like Baguska. It's just stun. It's just stun with more steps that actually does something after the fact, right? And kind of like OTK. But like, it's whatever. It's okay. Don't hate it, don't love it. It's pretty bland. Stun. Yeah, stun's boring. It's not something that's like actively unfun. It's just boring, right? It's not hurting you to play it, right? There's a reason people play it, right? I just don't find it very exciting. I'm not like, yeah, let me flip floodgates on my opponent, or like normal summon a singular guy and then protect it. I just don't find that interesting. Love Cannon Hawking on the little. The new support is great as well. Yeah. Someone told me to play stun. I felt insulted. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. So there you go. There's the list. Yeah. Honestly, we started this list with almost nothing up here. There was like nothing up here, and then we got to the later entries like Sprite and Tier, and then like everything was going up. Yeah. Stun only exists because people want to see meta stuff suffer. Well, here's the thing. There will always be an anti-meta strategy. Stun just happens to be that. Because the meta is not... The meta is special summoning. Right? Whereas Tindangle, I haven't played Tindangle. All of these decks I haven't played. So if you're wondering where a specific thing is, I've pretty much rated everything I've played, even if it was just like for a few games. So put Tri-Brigade on top. It is. It's right there. What are you talking about? I have 2 Tri-Brigade decks on top. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? This is for the meme. This stays here because meme is funny. Obviously. I'm gonna tell you a quick little secret, chat. No one likes playing Celtic Guardian. No one is fucking playing Celtic Guardian and being like, that, I'm having a good time. I don't enjoy that deck, but it's funny to put it there. So we're gonna put it there. Celtic Guardian is an honorary Tri-Brigade. True. Centurion or Voiceless? I like Centurion more. I like playing Centurion more, but I think Voiceless is better. Therefore, I play Voiceless more. Well, no, I've probably played them. I've probably played Centurion more, actually. But I do like the Centurion mechanics a little bit more. Celtic Guardian, our savior. Feral Imp, our deity. "14-year-old me enjoyed playing Celtic Guardian." Fair. So now we know the good decks to play if you ever open up viewer duels. If I ever open up viewer duels, something horrible has gone wrong. I will let you know, chat. If you really want to know something, I'll tell you. Actually, you probably don't want to know. You probably don't care. But there is a reason I don't do viewer duels, right? Most other content creators do. I don't. Reason being, 1, most of the time, when I open them up, no one joins. No one plays, and I just sit there. And it's really boring. 2, I get no viewers on streams like that. It's just not enjoyable, right? No one watches, it's pretty boring. Unless, like, there's some gimmick to it, most of the people do not care, right? Even with, like, larger content creators, right? So it's just better for me to just play ranked or to do something else like that, right? And 3, the duels that tend to happen tend to be extremely boring. Only occasionally are they interesting. Most of the time, they are really boring. Because one of 2 things will happen. I will play a rogue deck, and my opponent will also play a rogue deck. And then whoever goes first ends up winning, because rogue decks versus rogue decks is really coin flippy. Or it will be someone plays a meta deck and someone doesn't play a meta deck, and then the non-meta deck gets absolutely clapped. And it's just never fun. Also, I got called the N-word by an Ancient Warrior player because I played Dragon Link. I had no idea what I was doing with Dragon Link. I ended on like Savage Pass with like a negate. It was very bad, and my opponent couldn't beat it. It was so funny. And then I got called the N-word in Discord, and I was like, yeah, I think we're fucking done. It like, looking back, it is the funniest shit. And it's so, like, it is one of the reasons I don't like Ancient Warrior. Because it was just like, that's the Ancient Warrior community. That's what I think of when people are like, yeah, I love Ancient Warriors. I'm like, you what? That's what I think of. So I was just like, yeah, like, I don't want to do this anymore. Mass would be playing Stardust on for the memes and losing? Exactly. I want a sentence to come back on. I'm sorry. I cannot be trusted with the power of a viewer duel. I will not lie. I will show up with Performa Pals. Exactly. And that's the thing, is like, if it goes well, right? We have something that's like MBT's, dual tainting. And if it goes poorly, it's extremely boring and one-sided, Just like a regular ranked duel, but with nothing on the line. And it's just eh. So, there you go. Anyway, there's my list. If you have any questions, yes, I genuinely do think that playing Flu is extremely fun. Why? Because playing Flu is way more interesting than playing against Flu. And actually having to normal summon the birds is pretty cool. Except for with the barrier statue. Fuck the barrier statue. Everyone hates the barrier statue. No one likes barrier statues. They can go die. But, as far as, like, current, well, with multiple M-Pen, very fun. Aragon is the goat of dual tating. That was so funny. But, I mean, that's the point. It's like, you kind of have to have some sort of gimmick, right? Ancient Warrior Eldritch was a thing? Yep. It was pretty cool. Alright, let's play more Sprite. We're playing Sprite. Chi Turbo was never so peak before him. True. True. Surely we will climb rank. Surely we will go up in rank. Surely. Pretty good hand. Besides the Maxi in my opponent's hand. Tragic. Well. Okay. Summon the Momonga. Make Gigante. Okay. Veiler. A Veiler. Can I unlimit Nimble Beaver? Please. No, it's not Sprite Tri Brigade. It's Sprite. It's kind of just Sprite, but there is a small U-Bell package. Give me that ass. Maxi? Bestial. Sure. Sure. Haha. That's a nasty hand. What the hell? Okay. We'll shuffle back this one so that the 1-for-1 is potentially turned off. Coolio. We'll go starter. Go for blue. Blue. No. Grab Jet. Jet. Special. Jet. Effect. Grab Smasher. Link for... Yeah. So we go Elf. Elf. Grab Jet. Make SP. SP Little Knight, Banish, set 1, sets 2, pass. If they have 1-for-1, we are sad. Yep, I will go... Smashers, Banish, Coolio. We did it. We did it, chat. Lois Simos. We did it. Did. Him forcing his game to DC and then changing decks every time is his second best work. That is true. That was very funny. This hand is funny. It's very funny. Uh-huh. Yeet. Yeet. Normal. Effect. They don't have Maxi, which is Pog. Love that. Love that. 10 out of 10. No notes. No notes. Make this guy. Link for Sprind. Sprind. If I lose to my opponent drawing Nibiru in 60, I will cry. Angler. 1, 2. Whee. Make this guy. Heala. Gigante. Detach. At that point, you just really wanted to win. True. Alright, grab Jet. Jet grabs Smashers. Jet grabs Smashers. Go Elf with these two. Should've gone with that guy. You're right. You're right. We'll go Elf. Bring back the carrot. Yeah, just link off for IP. And then discard the Ash Blossom for this guy. Set 1, pass to you. Now I'm almost certain my opponent has Super Polymerization in their hand. There's nothing I can realistically do about that. Oh, I didn't fire the Maxi. Oops, that's fine. Ash is fine. I'll fire Maxi here. Cool. So my opponent's on bullshit. So we'll see how this goes. Out comes Poplar. Sure. Poplar effect. Yeah. Is that fine? I'll go Elf here. For... blue? For Jet. Do you have Havness? Do you draw Havness? Also, drawing the one of in 60. The one of in 60, by the way. Criminal. We'll go Jet. I will grab Gamma Burst. Subversion. Sure. Yeah, that's fine. Sure. You gonna crash? Oh, that's cute. Okay. Banish. Gigante. No. Mm-mm. Cool. Sheeran. Sheeran. You've already normaled, so no. Keep that shit in your hand. Thanks. Elf does prevent targeting. Yeah. Why? It doesn't prevent this guy from targeting. Or, Elf from being targeted. Nor Jet Subversion. Sure. Elf? Yeah, sure, that's fine. Mm-hmm. Woo! The Roach. We did it, chat! We're in Master 2! Let's fucking go! Why did I save that duel? Because I'm stupid. I'm 8-0? What the hell? I'm 8-0 with this deck? That's crazy. What? Why are so many people on this deck? I've seen so many people playing Snake Eye Horus tier. This can't be good. Heavy Storm. Why the... Oh, for these. Okay, sure. I guess that makes a little bit of sense. This seems so bad. Do you think it's worth it to play Promethean Princess and Sprite alongside Pit Knight early? No. Nah. Because most of the time, if you're able to do your combos and do, like, your plays, right? What you end up on is... Or what ends up happening is you're locked into twos. Which means it's very difficult to realistically make Promethean Princess before being locked. Right? Sometimes you can. Right? Like, you could go, like... You could potentially draw enough sprites to do that, right? I guess it also kind of depends on the variant, but for the most part, it's rather difficult to play around that, right? So most of the time, if you want to have something that's not a 2 to go into, it's going to be something that you go into on, like, after your first turn, right? You were decked out because of this list? Interesting. I guess that is the plan. I mean, that's what Necrophase is for. Can we ban Snow, please? Can we put this card back to 0? I hate this card. Me and my homies hate this card. This card should absolutely be banned. Hey chat, guess what? I did end up finishing the Water and Wind event, and let me tell you, here are my thoughts post doing all of the stuff. Well, all of the important stuff. This event is really boring. Welcome back, Onbu. This event is really... It's not boring. It's just kind of mid, right? There are so many players playing Ice Barrier that I basically just played Ice Barrier. Now, when I did play against another deck, it was rather interesting, but it wasn't anything too special. And because of the power of a lot of the going second cards, it really did feel almost more powerful to go second, which kind of also made it pretty boring. There wasn't really much competition in that. It was just like, cool, here's a board breaker, die, right? And yeah, just overall, it wasn't that great, all in all. It was okay. Going second and you die unless you draw evenly, I had no issue with that. Because you could just draw so many insanely good cards. Ice Barrier alone in deck is tier 0. I mean, in representation, definitely not in game score. It's just kind of mid. Like, there's not really any... Because of the limitations that they did, there wasn't much competition between... Like, there technically was, but no one was really playing all that many decks. Like, I guarantee if they didn't nerf Marincess, more Marincess players would have played, right? If they didn't nerf I don't know, like, what else did they nerf? They nerfed a few other decks that I can't remember. But yeah, like, for the most part, it really does feel... These are definitely the 2 weakest attributes, and so it just kind of, eh. Book of Moon's good, yeah. So I don't know. I just overall, it was kind of mid. It wasn't, like, the worst event. It was just kind of mid. Flunder and Marincess. Flunder absolutely did need the nerfs. Having played Flunder, yeah, it needed the nerfs. Imagine if Flunder could also go first. Play a whole bunch of board breakers and then also just go first. That would suck. That would suck. But as far as the Marincess hit, yeah, that didn't make any sense. There were a few other hits that also didn't make sense, and now I'm thinking about it. I can't remember. What was banned that was Water and Wind? No, I guess, yeah, I guess for the most part it was fine. What was I thinking of? Maybe it was a spell? What was the spell traps look like? I think there was something... Oh yeah, it was all like the limitations to like alt win cons. Right? There wasn't much you could do in terms of like alternate win conditions, which I found to be really frustrating. Cuz like why? You know? So that was kind of annoying. But I mean I get, yeah, this one was weird, right? There was a bunch of stuff like that where it's just like why? Right? Like, sure, this makes sense. I guess this makes sense, you know. But then there was like a bunch of burn cards that were on the list, and I was like, why? Why not? You know, why can't I play burn? What if I wanted to play burn? I don't know why. Both Yu-Gi-Oh players and Konami hate burn. They're just like, you're burning? Die. I was like, why? Why is that such like a bad thing? I don't know. I think it's because most of the burn decks just burn in a singular turn instead of over multiple turns, because you can't burn over multiple turns anymore because you just die, right? Anyway, so yeah, I don't know. It was fine. It was mid. That's it. I have to kind of get up early tomorrow, so I'm going to call it quits there for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you guys did indeed enjoy. If you did, I like it very much, so appreciate it. And if you want to check out more content like this, as well as more Yu-Gi-Oh, then just be sure to subscribe. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and remember to always stay frosty. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye.